Alright, so for today, we'll have a lecture about your secondary hemostasis associated disorder, no? So madali lang to guys, no? It's more of your factor deficiency, no? Madali lang to kasi ang tatandaan mo lang dito is kung ano yung apektadong pathway and anong test yung nagiging abnormal. Pero please do take note na for every factor deficiency, meron kasi ang mga unique characteristic, no? So you take note also yung mga unique characteristics na makikita mo sa factor deficiency na to, no? When talking about this factor deficiency kasi or coagulation disorder, you just need to correlate the disorder itself with the clinical manifestation and with the laboratory test, no? Kung ano yung normal na laboratory test, abnormal na laboratory test, no? So, sana makasunod po lahat, no? And I hope and pray na tumigil na yung mga pag-uulan na to para makabalik na tayo sa ating regular classes. So, let's start, guys. Alright. So, let's first start with your factor deficiency associated with your intrinsic pathway, no? Number 1 po, factor 12 deficiency or yung tinatawag na Hageman factor deficiency, no? Now, please to remember na this autosomal recessive disease can be expressed as homozygous or heterozygous form. Pero here's the thing, guys, no? Patient with factor 12 deficiency do not suffer from bleeding disorder. Sir, bakit? Usually, yung mga pasyente dito asymptomatic, no? Na nadidiscover lang yung bleeding disorder na to whenever they have this minor surgery, no? Nagkaroon sila ng minor surgery, tapos nagulat yung surgeon, ayaw tumigil ng pagdurugo, or whenever there would be tooth extraction, tapos ayaw tumigil ng pagdurugo, ayan, no? That would be the hallmark of your factor 12 deficiency. And please do remember also na patient with these disorders tends to have thrombosis, no? Actually, mas common pa sa kanila yung excessive clotting compare sa bleeding. Alright? Okay. In your laboratory test, obviously, if you have factor 12 deficiency, ang magiging prolong po is the APTT, while normal po ang ating PT. Sir, what's the result of clotting time whenever the patient has factor 12 deficiency? Obviously, ang clotting time, normal. Okay? Now, if you want to confirm the deficiency of your factor 12, you need to do a factor 12 assay, no? Solely, specific po siya for the detection of factor 12 deficiency. Pero here's the thing, guys, kasi, no? Kapag nakita kasi na prolong APTT yan, tapos normal PT, the best treatment of choice is just to administer a fresh frozen plasma, no? FFP. Okay na yon. Kasi hindi rin naman ganong significant kung ma-identify pa na factor 12 deficiency yung sakit ni patient. Kasi bihira lang naman tayong bihira lang tayong gumawa ng mga factor 12 concentrate, no? Although kayang gumawa ng factor 12 concentrate. However, may hirap na technique kasi ang ginagamit for you to harvest your factor 12. So therefore, enable to be more feasible in terms of treating factor 12 deficiency, edi bigyan mo na lang FFP yung mismong pasyente or fresh frozen plasma. Alright? Okay. Number 2, guys, prekallikrein deficiency. Pletcher factor, ang other name niya, no? Or the PK deficiency, also inherited as autosomal recessive. You also take note, guys, no? If it is autosomal recessive, autosomal dominant, X-linked recessive, and etc. Okay. Now, one of the hallmark of your PK deficiency is that yung APTT nito, shortened, guys. Ano? Ngayon lang ba kayo nakarinig nun, no? Shortened ang APTT. However, meron tayong consideration na ginagawa for APTT if you want to diagnose the PK deficiency. Sir, ano yon? You will add kaolin as your activator instead of other activator, no? So, specifically, kaolin ang gagamitin natin. You will add kaolin to the specimen, and if it produces a shortened PTT, that would actually conclude na baka nga may PK deficiency yung mismong patient. Okay, shortened APTT. However, sa iba kasing mga activator, ang APTT result ng PK deficiency is usually prolong. Ano? Prolong po, guys. So, tatandaan natin palagi yan. Okay. Number 3, also part of your intrinsic pathway. By the way, anong pwedeng gamot for PK deficiency? Fresh frozen plasma as well. No? Ito kasi guys, kung mapapansin nyo, factor 12 deficiency, PK deficiency, HMWK deficiency, ay mga factor 11 deficiency, they are treated with fresh frozen plasma. No? Okay, number 3 po, high molecular weight kininogen or yung tinatawag na Fitzgerald factor deficiency, no? Now, it is otherwise known as your poor contact phase reactions, no? This is the hallmark, guys, if you have the HMWK deficiency, a poor contact phase reaction. Sir, bakit? Ang HMWK kasi, aside from aiding in the coagulation, it is also important in diagnosing cardiovascular disorder. Guys, it helps in coagulation. However, if you have a deficiency with HMWK, naapektuhan din yung cardiovascular system ng mismong pasyente. No? Cardiovascular system. Okay. Now, patient with this kind of disease are usually asymptomatic. Okay? Asymptomatic, apektado ang coagulation, and even the fibrinolysis. Ano? Tandaan nyo if you don't have your HMWK, even the fibrinolysis are affected. So, ano mangyayari sa fibrinolysis? Madedelay po ba or mas lalong tatagal? Madedelay, guys. No? Madedelay ang fibrinolysis if you have HMWK deficiency. Now, one also hallmark of your HMWK deficiency is producing an APTT of more than 10 minutes, guys. Medyo matagal ang APTT whenever you have HMWK deficiency. Lalagpas ng 10 minuto. Sir, bakit? If you would recall, siya yung tumutulong kay factor 12 na padamihin yung sarili niya, no? Diba siya yung nagkukos ng acceleration of factor 12 activation? Diba? Now, in the absence of your HMWK, those factor 12 activation are diminished, no? Medyo mabagal, guys, yung pag-activate ng factor 12. So, therefore, mabagal ang intrinsic pathway. So, therefore, mabagal din ang APTT. Okay, What's the hallmark? Poor contact phase reaction. Okay. Now, aside from your HMWK, you also have your factor 11 deficiency or yung tinatawag na hemophilia C, no? Patient tends to have this mild bleeding tendencies, no? Medyo mild, guys, kapag hemophilia C. And it is considered the mildest among your hemophiliacs, no? Kasi when talking about hemophilia, meron tayong hemophilia A, hemophilia B, hemophilia C. Pinakamalala, medyo malala, hindi malala, no? Naka-arrange na rin naman siya, guys. Okay. Usually, it is silent until magkaroon ng trauma or any surgery. But by the way, please do take note na common to sa mga Hudyo. Ito, guys, no? Nakalagay na pala dito. Prevalent in Jewish population. Kung mapapansin nyo kasi, merong mga sakit, lalo na mga hematological disease, na common talaga sa mga Hudyo, no? Like for example, you have your Gaucher's disease. Ayan, Gaucher's disease is common also in Jewish population, no? Marami talaga, guys, no? Pag-aaralan niyo yung mga sakit sa hematology, palagi na pag-uusapan ang mga Hudyo, ang mga pirata, no? Kasi nasa kanilang mga common na hematology disease. or blood diseases. Okay. Now, in terms of the laboratory test, guys, usually ang PTT neto mataas. However, hindi naman siya abot ng more than 10 minutes, no? That would be less than 10 minutes PTT for factor 11 deficiency. Alright. Aside from that, syempre, we also have our bida, the factor 8 deficiency, or the classic hemophilia, no? Hemophilia A. It's actually referred as royal disease since common to sa royal family, no? Nabanggit natin siya, guys. Now, there would be defective factor 8C. So, what is factor 8C? Factor 8C is factor 8 alone, no? Factor 8 na mag-isa. Alright? Di ba kasi meron tayong factor 8 na may kasamang von Willebrand factor. 'Di ba? Meron din tayong factor 8 na mag-isa lang. Ito 'yon, si factor 8C, yung walang laman na von Willebrand factor. Now, medyo malala ang factor 8 deficiency kasi this is associated with deep bleeding. You take note of that. Malalim na pagdurugo, guys. To the point na umaabot na siya sa intracranial hemorrhage. 'Di ba? Sabi ko nga sa inyo dahil sa hemarthrosis, guys nagkakaroon ng hemarthrosis yung mga taong may hemophilia A. Dahil sa hemarthrosis, pwedeng magkaroon ng deformability of the joints, no? Nadideform talaga yung joints, guys. To the point na may mga times na hindi na nagagalaw nung mga pasyente nila, nung mga pasyente na may hemophilia A, yung mga joints nila. Dahil nga sa sobrang pagdurugo, no? Patient with this kind of disease may have chronic arthritis and joint distraction. Ulit patient with this kind of disease tends to have this chronic arthritis and joint distraction. Ayan repeated hemarthrosis can cripple and deform the patient. Okay. Now, in terms of the laboratory findings, it would be prolonged APTT and normal PT. However, the prolongedness in the APTT are corrected by adsorbed plasma since your adsorbed plasma contains factor 8, right? But not with age serum. Kasi po, ang age serum, babalik-balikan na naman natin, wala po siyang, sabayan nyo ako, 1, 5, 8, and 13. Guys, age pala. Ano pa yung dinadagdag natin dahil age serum? Factor 2. No? Gusto ko after ng hematology class natin, kabisado nyo na kung sino yung mga factor na present and absent with this kind of blood product. Alright? Okay. Now, the most common cause of death for those people na may factor 8 deficiency is intracranial bleeding. Tandaan nyo the most common cause of death for those patient na merong factor 8 deficiency would be intracranial bleeding or intracranial hemorrhage, no? Actually, ang mga doctor, if you have hemophilia A, ina-advise nila ang mga pasyente na huwag masyadong magagalaw, no? Huwag gumawa ng mga strenuous activity. Kasi konting umpog lang, konting pagdurugo lang, guys, lumalaki siya. Okay? Alright. Now, what's next? Next, your factor 9 deficiency. Before the factor 9 deficiency, we have here the treatment for factor 8 deficiency. Sabi ko sa inyo, one of the best treatment is cryoprecipitate and even DDUP. Now, those patient na nagdevelop na ng antibodies against factor 8, nangyayari kasi yun, guys lalong-lalo na kapag palaging sinasalinan yung patient ng factor 8 concentrate and even cryoprecipitate, no? By the way, the treatment of choice for factor 8 deficiency is factor 8 concentrate. However, sa Pilipinas, kung saan mahirap humanap ng factor 8 concentrate, cryoprecipitate ang treatment of choice. Alright. Now, if you have autoantibody against the factor 8, which is nangyayari naman talaga, pwedeng magbigay ng pwedeng mag-undergo yung patient ng plasmapheresis, no? When you say plasmapheresis, tatanggalin muna yung plasma ng pasyente, then saka sasalinan ng plasma na may laman na factor 8. Okay? Now, the reason kung bakit kailangan tanggalin muna yung plasma ng patient kasi it might contain antibodies. Yung autoantibody nga. However, this seems to be ineffective, no? Believed to be ineffective kasi kung mapapansin nyo, yung mga memory B cells and mga T cells na responsible for the production of those autoantibodies ay hindi naman palaging naglalagi sa circulation or sa dugo. 'Di ba? Nasaan sila? Nasa spleen, nasa lymph nodes. So therefore, kahit tanggalin mo yung mga antibodies na yan sa circulation, pwede pa rin mag-produce ng autoantibodies yung mga B cells na magta-transform into plasma cells na nakalocate sa spleen and even sa lymph nodes. Alright? Okay. Now, we also have your factor 9 deficiency or your hemophilia B or otherwise known as your Christmas disease. Now, ganito yan, guys. If you have vitamin K deficiency, pwede ka magkaroon ng hemophilia B. Okay? However, ang factor 9 deficiency kasi is associated with this congenital disorder. No? Inherited. Ito ang palagi nyo tatandaan. Soft tissue bleeding, factor 9 deficiency. Deep bleeding, factor 8 deficiency. Alright? Okay. Now, if you have factor 9 deficiency, it can be corrected by H serum but not by your adsorbed plasma since your adsorbed plasma do not contain factor 9. Guys, ganito yan ha. Kapag kasi nagkaroon ka ng vitamin K deficiency, ang unang bumababa dyan si factor 7. Then followed by factor 9, then followed by factor 10 and factor 2. Although lahat naman sila mauubos, no? Pero ito lang talaga yung pagkakasunod-sunod ng unang mga bumababa. That's why, kung meron kang vitamin K deficiency, anong nangyayari? Prolong ang iyong PT. However, eventually, magiging prolong na rin ang iyong APTT. No? Vitamin K deficiency. Okay. Now, specific factor 9 assay are actually used to diagnose factor 9 deficiency. No? Okay, ganito yan, ha? Meron kasing mga concentrate products, yung mga factor 9 concentrate na binibigay talaga solely for factor 9 deficiency. Okay. Now, to prevent this cardiac overload, kasi more likely palagi mangangailangan ng dugo yung mga taong may factor 9 deficiency, plasma exchange can be performed. Paanong gagawin? Kukunin yung plasma na walang laman na factor 9. Papalitan ng plasma na may laman na factor 9. So by doing that, guys, you prevent hypervolemia. No? You prevent any cardiac overload tendencies. Ang punto ko dito, ayaw mong pataasin yung plasma sa dugo ng patient kasi pwedeng tumaas yung blood pressure niya. Pag tumaas yung blood pressure niya, guys, that's hypervolemia. Pwedeng atakihin yung mismong pasyente. Now, to prevent that, ayan, no, nagpe-perform sila ng tinatawag na plasma exchange therapy. Alright? Okay. And of course, guys, mawawala ba naman ang tinuro natin? Although naturo ko na to ha, pasadahan lang natin. Von Willebrand disease, no? This may produce a prolonged bleeding time and evidence of vascular fragility and even a prolonged APTT. Okay, konting recall lang. What's the diagnostic tool for von Willebrand disease? Abnormal ristocetin, no? Abnormal reaction with ristocetin. Okay? Okay. And the treatment of choice is, of course, nasabi ko na, cryoprecipitate. Now, to prevent this factor 8 deficiency, you may administer commercial factor 8, guys. No? Ayan. Commercial factor 8. And even DDAP are used, no, to treat von Willebrand disease, since your DDAP may induce the production of your von Willebrand granules. Right? Kasi nanggagaling siya sa alpha granules ng mga platelets. Okay. And you also have your factor 7 deficiency, no? Dalawa lang yan eh. When talking about disorders in extrinsic pathway, dalawa lang lagi ang ina-associate natin. Factor 7 deficiency and vitamin K deficiency. Sir, bakit wala si factor 3? Kasi ulit-ulitin ko, there's no such thing as factor 3 deficiency. No, kasi punong-puno ka po ng tissue factor. No, yung katawan mo punong-puno ng tissue factor. All right. Now, factor 7 deficiency or the proconvertin or the stable factor deficiency. Okay, malilito ha. Stable factor, factor 7. Okay? Labile factor, factor 5 and factor 8. Alright. It's a very rare disorder in which patient here are more vulnerable to have thrombotic events rather than bleeding tendencies. And most of the time, the diagnosis here is supported by family history, no? And of course, a prolonged PT but normal APTT. Okay, wag na kayong magpatumpik-tumpik pa, no? Pag nakita nyo prolonged PT, normal APTT, isa lang yan, guys. Factor 7 deficiency or either vitamin K deficiency. Okay. Now, we also have chromogenic substrate procedures that measure the ability of your factor 7 to cleave your factor 10, no? Your factor 10 here contains this chromogenic substrate, no? Kumbaga, kapag na-cleave daw ng factor 7 yung factor 10, there would be chromogens na mapuproduce. Chromogens. Sir, what is chromogens? Ilaw po, no? The intensity of chromogens or the intensity of color is proportional to the activity of your factor 7. So, kung mas matingkad ang kulay, mas madaming factor 7. Kapag yung kulay naman is wala talaga na produce na kulay, there might be factor 7 deficiency. Alright? Okay. To treat this factor 7 deficiency, pwede mong bigyan si pasyente ng tinatawag na prothrombin complex or yung Autoplex T. You take note of this, guys, no? Your Autoplex T contains your 1972. The factor 10, the factor 9, the factor 7, and factor 2. So, ibig sabihin pala, kung si pasyente may vitamin K deficiency, pwede mo rin siyang bigyan ng Autoplex T. Alright? Okay. So next, dako na tayo with your common pathway deficiency. If this common pathway, obviously, prolong ang PT, prolong din ng APTT. Okay. Factor 10, Stewart-Prower factor deficiency. Okay, now, you can either inherit this as homozygous or heterozygous, no? Usually, guys, mas malalala kapag mga homozygous state. Kasi kapag homozygous, doon lumalabas ang hemorrhagic manifestation. Okay? Pag mga heterozygous state naman, usually, bleeding dito is less severe, no? Bleeding is less severe in heterozygous state. Alright. It's very uncommon, no? If you want to know if there would be factor 10 deficiency, meron naman tayong test for that, no? We have your Steven time. What is the Steven time, guys, if the patient has factor 10 deficiency? The Steven time is prolonged or abnormal, no? Since alam naman natin, yung kamandag na ginamit sa Steven time mimics the activity of your factor 7. So, easily, may factor 7 ka if meron kang Steven time. Now, if there is factor 10, normal. However, if there would be no factor 10, no 10, abnormal. Okay? Okay. Now, the PT here and APTT are corrected by H serum but not with adsorbed plasma. what's the treatment of choice? You can either administer fresh frozen plasma or the prothrombin complex concentrate. Or yung sinasabi ko kanina na Autoplex T. Okay? Okay. So next is your factor 5 deficiency or the Auren's disease or the labile factor deficiency. By the way guys your factor 5 is your ano nangyari? Naging pencil. Is your true labile factor, no? Kung mamimili kayo between factor 5 and factor 8, ang true labile po dyan is si factor 5. Okay. Now, tinawag siyang Auren's disease kasi this is discovered by Professor Auren's in 1944. And before kasi guys, tinatawag din siya as parahemophilia. And even ngayon, sorry ang parahemophilia dati, von Willebrand factor deficiency. Ang parahemophilia ngayon, factor 5 deficiency. No? Okay, tandaan nyo this can be inherited as autosomal recessive. Patient here may have varying mucosal membrane bleeding. No, that's the keyword guys. Varying mucosal bleeding and GIT bleeding. Ayun ang hahanapin yung keyword mucosal bleeding and gastrointestinal tract bleeding or GIT bleeding. Now, based on the book of Rodax, if you have factor 5 deficiency, most of the time, nagkakaroon ka na ng factor 8 deficiency. Bakit? Kasi po, due to genetics, no? There would be defect in the chromosome 18 responsible for the production of factor 5 and factor 8. That's why they are both labile. Okay? Okay. Now, both the PT and APTT here are corrected by the adsorbed plasma. And if you want a more specific diagnostic tool for factor 5 assay, kasi binibilang talaga to Kasi common naman, no? In fairness naman, common and malala talaga ang factor 5 deficiency. So therefore, we have a specific factor 5 assay na ginagamit to quantitate the amount of factor 5, no? It can either use chromogens or fluorescence. As your tool to diagnose and as a principle. Okay. Now, eto talaga. Ang tinuturing na treatment of choice here is fresh frozen plasma. Kailangan mo ng fresh. Hindi ka magbibigay dito ng mga blood products na matagal nang nakaimbak. Bakit? Kasi siya po yung true labile factor. Siya yung pinakamadaling masira na factor among your coagulation factor. So, isa lang talaga guys, ang treatment of choice. Fresh frozen plasma. Okay. Number 4, we have your factor 2 deficiency or your prothrombin deficiency. This can be inherited as deficiency or dysfunction. Dysfunction kasi this can be acquired, no? Okay. Now, factor 2 deficiency tends to have this mild hemorrhagic disorder and bleeding is most common following trauma. APTT, PT, CT here is abnormal. However, ano kaya ang thrombin time if the patient has factor 2 deficiency? Ang thrombin time, normal. Ibig sabihin ba nun, sir, ang reptilase time din kapag factor 2 deficiency is normal? Yes, kasi pareho lang naman ang principle, ang thrombin time and ang reptilase time. Okay. Now, administration of your fresh frozen plasma or the Autoplex T are recommended to treat the patient, and acquired or dysfunctional deficiency with factor 2 is associated with vitamin K deficiency. no? Dysfunctional factor 2 or acquired factor 2 deficiency are associated with vitamin K deficiency. Now, this deficiency are also seen if the patient has GIT disease or gastrointestinal disorder that actually blocks the reabsorption of your vitamin K. Basta any sakit na pipigilan kang makakuha ng vitamin K may produce factor 2 deficiency. No? And even jaundice, guys. Jaundice is actually linked, paninilaw is also linked with factor 2 deficiency. And of course, if you are undergoing Coumadin therapy. Or Coumarin, diba? Okay. Now, parehong ginagawa ang APTT and one-stage PT. However, mas specific kasi or mas sensitive, no? Tandaan nyo guys ha, the most sensitive test to detect the factor 2 deficiency is the two-stage prothrombin method, no? Kasi gagamit ka dito ng anti-prothrombin. It's an anti-sera. Ganito lang yan guys. The anti-prothrombin will detect the presence of your thrombin or prothrombin. If there would be no prothrombin, edi walang reaction na mangyayari. Kapag walang reaction na mangyayari, walang agglutination. So, absence of agglutination in two-stage prothrombin method is diagnostic for factor 2 deficiency. Alright? So, if there would be presence of agglutination, edi normal lang prothrombin ng mismong pasyente. Okay. The choice of treatment is fresh frozen plasma or the Autoplex T. However, you can also give the vitamin K concentrate, no? Pero kasi ganito lang yan, guys, eh. Kulang sa vitamin K, bleeding tendencies. Pero pag napasobra ka naman, it may result to thrombosis, no? Basta anything na sobra naman nakakasama. Okay? Okay. We also have the factor 1 deficiency or yung tinatawag na fibrinogen deficiency. Actually, tatlo to. We have a fibrinogenemia, hypofibrinogenemia, and the dysfibrinogenemia. No? Unahin natin. Number 1, a fibrinogenemia. Total absence of fibrinogen. Your liver here cannot produce fibrinogen at all. Okay? This is considered as the most severe form of your factor 1 deficiency, no? Ang pinakamalala po na form ng factor 1 deficiency is a fibrinogenemia, 'di ba? Undetectable amounts of fibrinogen. Now, please do take note that this fibrinogenemia is considered as congenital. Kakapanganak pa lang ni baby, may bleeding manifestation na, no? Meron ng severe hemorrhagic manifestation. Actually, ma-observe to guys sa umbilical cord ng mismong baby, no? Sa umbilical cord. Ayaw tumigil dumugo nung pusod niya, guys. 'Di ba kinakat 'yon? Now, if you have a fibrinogenemia, dudugo 'yon. And 'yun ang unang nakikitang presentation sa mga pasyente. Okay. Now, malalim din ang bleeding kapag a fibrinogenemia. Even subcutaneous hemorrhage are seen, no? Subcutaneous hemorrhage. Pero here's the thing, guys. The molecular structure here is normal. So, therefore, pareho lang kasi si fibrinogenemia and hypofibrinogenemia na normal ang molecular structure. However, the patient platelets here are affected. Yun ang unique sa fibrinogen deficiency, guys. Fibrinogenemia, hypofibrinogenemia, and this fibrinogenemia, lahat sila may prolonged bleeding time, no? Which somehow makes sense. Sir, bakit? Kasi ang fibrinogen, tumutulong po siya sa platelet aggregation, 'di ba? So, kung apektado ang platelet aggregation, prolong ang bleeding time. Palagi niyong tatandaan, nag-iisa lang ang factor deficiency na nakakaapekto sa parehong primary hemostasis and secondary hemostasis. Sino yon? Factor 1 deficiency. Common na tinatanong to sa board exam, no? Which of the coagulation factor affects both the primary and secondary hemostasis? Tandaan nyo na, lagyan nyo ng star. Factor 1 deficiency po yan. Alright? Okay, tingnan nyo, halos lahat prolong kapag factor 1 deficiency. Kulang nga dapat may reptilase time din, di ba? And even the adhesion and aggregation are affected. Okay? Okay. Even the ESR is affected here, no? Kapag kulang ka ng fibrinogen, guys, apektado rin ng ESR. Ano mangyayari sa ESR? Decrease ESR kapag kulang or dysfunctional ang fibrinogen. The treatment of choice is the administration of cryoprecipitate or factor 1 concentrate, no? For both the afibrinogenemia and hypofibrinogenemia. Okay. Now, we also have the hypofibrinogenemia. This is considered naman po as the most common type of factor 1 deficiency. Ang most severe, afibrinogenemia. Ang most common, hypofibrinogenemia, no? The fibrinogen here is around 20 to 100 milligrams per deciliter, which is ang normal range dapat 200 to 400. Ayan, no? Molecular structure is said to be normal. Mas malala pa rin talaga, guys, ang afibrinogenemia. And usually, ito lang yan, no? If you have hypofibrinogen, most of the time, ang bleeding time nagiging variable. Tandaan nyo palagi, ang bleeding time kapag hypofibrinogenemia, variable. Pwedeng prolong, pwedeng normal, no? Prolong, normal. Hypofibrinogenemia. However, kapag afibrinogenemia, palaging prolong ang bleeding time. However, kapag general ang usapan, no? Kapag ang tinanong is factor 1 deficiency, ang palagi nyong isasagot, prolonged bleeding time. However, kapag pinaghiwalay na afibrinogenemia and hypofibrinogenemia, ang tamang sagot sa afibrinogenemia, prolonged bleeding time. Ang tamang sagot sa hypofibrinogenemia, variable. Okay? Can be normal or prolonged. Okay? Okay. The treatment of choice is cryoprecipitate and fresh frozen plasma. And we also have that this fibrinogenemia, meron ka ditong dysfunctional fibrinogen molecule. There would be normal amounts of fibrinogen. Given naman yon. However, dysfunctional nga lang. Kung mapapansin nyo, guys, normal ang PT and APTT, normal din ang bleeding time. Ano ang prolong kapag dysfibrinogenemia? You know, reptilase time. Okay? Okay. Now, the abnormal function of fibrinogen here is said to be due to abnormal release of your fibrinopeptides. Guys, abnormal release of the fibrinopeptides, the stabilization of the fibrin clot, even stabilization of the clots are affected if you have this fibrinogenemia. Okay? Okay. And last na, guys, na factor deficiency, no? Binilisan ko lang talaga kasi nag-worry ako kung ma-upload ko ba tong video na to kasi medyo mahina yung wifi, pero sana ma-upload ko siya. Is your factor 13 deficiency. Guys, the fibrin stabilizing factor. Ito talaga, guys, no? Kapag tinanong sa board exam or any exam, ano yung factor deficiency na walang sintomas at all? Ayan na ang sagot. Factor 13 deficiency. Okay, it can be inherited as autosomal recessive, and the hallmark of your factor 13 deficiency, hallmark, guys, so lalagyan nyo ito ng star. Poor wound healing processes with unusual scar formation. Medyo kakaiba, guys, yung peklat kapag factor 13 deficiency, medyo mapula-pula po siya. Okay? And ano yung pangalawang hallmark? Excessive red cell fallout, no? Excessive red cell fallout. And most of the time, hindi na po ginagamitan ang factor 13 deficiency ng treatment. 'Di ba? Hindi nga tayo gumagamit siya ng PT, APTT, or any clot-based test to diagnose factor 13. Ano yung specialized test na ginagamit natin? The 5M urea test that assess the integrity of the clot, right? O, i-recall nyo, no? Yung 5M urea based sa midterm lecture natin. Alright. So, etong mga acquired disorders, guys, hindi na natin to isasama, no? Kasi naturo na naman din to, mga circulating anticoagulants, heparin, warfarin, no? So, hanggang dito lang tayo. Sir, question, may quiz po ba if ever magkaroon ng pasok sa Friday or sa Saturday? Meron, no? Pero kukontian ko lang yung number of items, guys, para ma-catch up kayo. And wait din kayo sa official announcement natin kung ano yung magiging quiz natin and kung kailan yung magiging quiz natin. Kasi more likely, pwedeng in-next week ko na rin yung mga quiz para isang taken na lang, no? I-update ko kayo, ha? So, keep safe, guys, and good luck.